So, let's talk about building a business. Not just one that looks good on paper, but one that actually gives you freedom. This is all about moving past those big, flashy revenue numbers and into building real, actual wealth that you can take home. Because, the goal isn't just to have a successful business, right? It's to build a business that is specifically designed to architect your freedom. We've all seen them. I'm sure you have. Those big, beautiful striped screenshots with insane numbers. They look incredible, they get a ton of likes, but they don't tell the whole story, do they? What really matters, what's way more important, is the number that's actually sitting in your bank account. After taxes, after payroll, after all this software and ad spend, that's the real score. The real 2 Comma Club isn't about revenue, it's about what's liquid. And that kind of leads us to the big question here. You've done all the hard work. You got the clients, you're making money. So why does it feel like you're just running on a hamster wheel? Why does this success that you've built feel more like a golden cage than actual freedom? If that hits home for you at all, then you are in exactly the right place. Let's just call this what it is. It's the successful entrepreneur's trap. It's this super frustrating plateau where you feel like you're working harder than you ever have before, but the business just isn't growing, and you can feel burnout creeping up right around the corner. But here's the good news. This is a totally predictable trap, which means it's also a solvable one. This quote, it just perfectly captures that feeling, doesn't it? You're looking at your revenue for the month and you're thinking, wow, we killed it. And then, bam, a surprise tax bill hits or a massive payroll withdrawal goes through, and all that profit you thought you had just evaporates, and you're just sitting there completely baffled. So how did you get here? Well, most online businesses follow a path that looks a lot like this. You start out in the pure hustle phase, right? Then you move into survival where you're learning the ropes, figuring things out. But then you hit chaos. More clients, more demands, maybe you hire a person or two, and suddenly everything still relies on you. You might even push into the competition stage, but you find yourself just bouncing between these two, totally trapped in the cycle of firefighting. And here's the absolute key. If you are stuck in that chaos and competition loop, the problem isn't that you don't know enough. I'm willing to bet you've bought the courses, you've watched the YouTube videos. The real reason you're stuck is something totally different. Okay, so let's get our terms straight. Knowledge is knowing what to do. It's the tactics, the funnels, the sales scripts, all of that stuff. But here's the thing. In today's world, with YouTube and AI everywhere, knowledge has basically become a commodity. Everybody has access to the exact same information, the same what. But wisdom, that is a whole different ballgame. Wisdom isn't about what to do, it's about how to think. It's having the framework to make better, smarter decisions with the knowledge you already have. Honestly, the only difference between you and someone who's richer than you with the exact same business model is that they've developed wisdom. They just think differently. And it really comes down to this simple rule. You've heard it before, but it's so true. The hustle, the grind, the constant search for more knowledge, all of that is what got you to this point. And that's great. But to break through to that next level, to get out of the trap, you need a brand new operating system. You have to make the leap from just having knowledge to actually having wisdom. So what does that next level even look like? What are we aiming for? Well, it's about achieving what we call the 3 freedoms. This is the real path to getting genuine control over your business, your time, and ultimately your life. Take a look at this. Does any of it feel familiar? Having no time because you're constantly putting out fires, being pulled in a million different directions, the high stress from that nonstop mental chatter, and that feeling of guilt. And of course, the cash flow roller coaster, where one surprise bill can wipe out all your profit. These aren't the real problem. They're the symptoms of a business that owns you. So the solution is to take every single one of those problems and flip it right on its head. We're not just trying to solve them, we're aiming for their complete positive opposite. We're aiming for time freedom, where your business actually runs itself. For mental freedom, where you have genuine peace of mind every day. And for financial freedom, where your wealth just grows systematically every single month. Okay, so that's the destination. It sounds amazing. But how in the world do you actually get there? Well, it's not about working harder. It's about installing very specific systems into your business. Let's walk through what those look like. All right, first up, time freedom. Step 1 is simple, but it is so powerful. You have to do a time audit to figure out where your hours are really going. This is how you get yourself out of the weeds. Then, step 2 is all about simplifying and automating your processes. That way, you're not just putting out fires anymore, you're actually preventing them from ever starting. Next is mental freedom. And wow, this one is huge. You absolutely need a compelling vision for the future that pulls you forward, not just the pain of failure pushing you from behind. And then you have to do the inner work. You have to clear out all that mental trash, the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs that keep sabotaging your execution, even when you know exactly what you should be doing. And finally, we have financial freedom. This all starts by installing a financial GPS for your business. You have to truly master your numbers so you can make decisions based on data, not just emotion. And then you automate your wealth machine. You set up simple, unbreakable rules that make sure a piece of your revenue is systematically building your personal wealth totally on autopilot. You see, when you actually install these systems, a really fundamental shift starts to happen. Your entire focus moves away from just chasing that next dollar of short-term revenue to building long-term sustainable wealth and genuine independence. And all of this leads to what we call your freedom number. For a lot of people, a good starting goal is something like $1 million in liquid assets. Why? Because that's the point of, well, immortality, really. It's the point where you have enough money to live your ideal life forever, even if your business completely disappeared tomorrow. Now that is the definition of ultimate freedom. If you take only one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Money flows to organized places. Chaos repels money. Order attracts it. Every system we've talked about for your time, your mind, and your finances, it's all about creating that order, because that is how you attract, keep, and grow real wealth. So ultimately, it all comes down to a choice. You can keep building a really high-stress, demanding job that owns you. Or you can start installing the systems to build a true asset, one that actually serves you and is designed from the ground up to architect your freedom. So you just have to ask yourself, which one are you building?